So let's go ahead and call a meeting to order. Everybody okay with that? It is now 6:04. And do we need to do roll call since we have everybody here? We've got Cindy, Noah, Aaron, Holly, Peter, Eileen, Angela, Randy, who's on the beach where I want to be, Susan, Pamela, Marcia. Everybody okay? Angela, will you determine if we are at quorum? I think we are now.
We are.
Excellent.
We
That's
are
good.
at quorum, yes. Thank you.
Good. All right. From my understanding, do we have, or I shouldn't say this, my understanding is we do not have public invited to be heard. Is that the case?
We invited the public and they decided not to be heard. So we're good to move on.
All right. Additions, corrections of the August 20th meeting from our minutes.
Cindy Tiger.
I only have one, which is number 9. The motion was made by Laurel. It has a second from me, but it didn't say who the first was. So that's the only thing.
Hey, that's
Everything
better.
else looked great to me.
And they're minutes, not an agenda this time.
Yes. Good job.
And let's clarify, who do we have taking minutes tonight so we can be cautious? Thank you, Aaron.
Thank you.
We want to be kind and slow down because I tend to go way too fast. I'm like, and Angela, she's a little speedy too.
I know, I'm sorry.
It's all right.
Okay, so that was point number 9. Motion
Yes.
was made by Laurel and the motion was written correctly though.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. And it was seconded by you, Cindy. Got it.
Yes. And I move to accept the minutes from August 20th with the correction.
Great. All in favor to approve the minutes from August 20th?
Aye.
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 All in favor is
We need a second. We need a second.
Yeah. Holly seconded a long time ago, but we didn't get that. Aaron, you got that?
Yep.
Thank you so much. Okay, now we can do an all in favor.
Aye.
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 Aye. All opposed. Excellent. Minutes have been passed. So now we are at the point where let's talk about some great projects that we've got going.
Do we have any additions to the agenda though first?
Oh, great. Sorry.
No problem.
I always skip that part because I'm like, we don't need any additions.
Marcia, do we need to add, oh no, I guess that would be under new business. I don't think there's any, I don't have any additions. I'm set.
Miss Marcia, do you?
Yes. I don't have any new business. Was that the question?
No, any additions? And you could also include that in new business if you wanted to.
Okay, no.
Okay, thank you.
Great. All right, so then let's go ahead and move on to our public art projects. Our first item is Art on the Move 2020. Miss Angela.
So Eileen very generously went around today to the locations and has put the labels on. We are still waiting for Annette Coleman to finish her piece and have it installed. Her date was the middle of this month, and I think that she's on target, which is good. Honestly, I have not started to take photos or start on the postcard. So if anyone is agreeable and is savvy to take lovely photos of pieces and to help me with the graphic design or even just to get the photos done, I would be very appreciative. So
I can help with the photos.
And I can help with the graphic design.
that would be amazing. I have the template from last year. Cindy, what program do you work in typically for graphic design?
You can just send me the photos and I can do it, and send me the template. I can work it out.
Okay.
And you can just call me and let me know where you want me to go, and I'll take pictures.
Great. I will then work with
Or
you
email me.
offline.
You don't have to call me.
Okay. Yep. I'll send you a map and a template and we'll work on that. Thank you. It's one of those things I just haven't been able to get to, but really once
No
the
problem.
Coleman piece is installed, it would be nice to get that.
Which
out
piece
into
is
the
that?
public.
Which piece is that?
It's for Art on the Move. It's for the pieces that are all around town.
Yes, I understand, but which is the piece that we're waiting
Oh,
for?
the Annette Coleman is the piece that we had. Basically, it's commissioned. So we
Wasn't
approved
that
it prior to its fabrication.
The stained glass piece?
Yes, the stained glass it's called Whirling Dervish Transcendence.
Yeah.
It's really lovely. So, yeah, I haven't heard exactly when we're going to install that, but it'll be moments away. So if we
And
can
where,
get the graphic design done so we can just pop in the photo, that would be amazing.
where is that one going to go?
I think that it's going to go in St. Stephen's unless we can get the Jester's owner agreeable to put it on the plinth that's in his easement. But
So
that's-
Scott and I are really good friends. You should email
Okay.
me outside of this and I will talk to him.
Okay, so yeah, let's
Yeah,
talk offline about
that's pretty much a done deal. I can
Okay.
guarantee you. He will help us, okay?
He has to sign an easement though. There's a little bit of paperwork before that can happen.
Okay, we'll talk offline.
Okay, sounds good. So I
Angela.
will talk to, for Aaron, I will talk to Cindy and Pamela regarding getting the graphic design done for the card. And I will
Okay.
talk to Amy
About Scott. I mean,
about
Scott and Mary Lou.
Scott.
Yeah.
Scott.
Scott is like the maintenance guy and Mary Lou runs the show.
Okay,
Angela,
yes.
once I get the pictures, it should literally take me less than an hour, especially if I have a template.
Be still my heart. Okay, sounds good.
Angela, hey, do you have a sheet that says the location of all of the Art on the Moves?
I do.
I don't think I have it.
Everybody?
Can I get a copy? Just, I would love to see them.
Yep.
Me too, please.
Yeah, I'll just share with the
This is
group.
Pamela.
Yeah, and send it to everybody. That'd be awesome.
Okay. Awesome. All right. And thank you, Eileen, for getting those labels up. That's awesome. Shock Art 2020, 2 of the boxes are finished. So as you are driving north on Martin, about to go through the roundabout off of Ken Pratt on the north side to go to Taco Bell to get your tacos, or continue on, you will see actually a really, really lovely piece by Stevie Wurst Lawrence. It's the kind of Van Gogh Starry Night looking Rocky Mountain sunset. So it's a really
yeah.
good location.
Mhm.
So
I
good
drove
job,
past-
Shock Art Commission and Task Force, because you guys looked at those and I had kind of placed them and then you rearranged them a little bit. And that was a really smart move. That was a really good location for that piece. And then the other one is Patrick Pear's work called Long Live Longmont. And that is
Mhm.
Whole Foods parking lot, just south of Sleep Number. Peter, were you able to go and take a peek at that one?
Yes,
Roundabout?
I sent you pictures. Did you not get them?
I just haven't gotten there yet. Did it look
It's
good
on
to
email.
Okay.
I drove past both of those today. The one at in the mall by Sleep Number looks even better than it did in the box. I thought it had been changed from the prototype, but I went back and looked and it looks even better. It looks fantastic. Little
Yeah,
scenes
it's
from
just
Longmont on
really
every
great.
side and you can tell where they're from. It was excellent.
Awesome.
Angela, I went by and saw the one at Whole Foods also. And I had one concern.
Okay.
And maybe I'm like, oh my gosh, you stupid art person, that's part of art or something. But I do have a question about it. And that was on the panel that faces the south. I think it's a illustration of people along the river, and there are several men in it, and one of the men, and I don't know if he was like making a definition of his chest, but it's like a cross on him. And the other men don't have it on, so I just didn't know what to.
Hey, Susan, would you send that to Angela and I?
Can you open that up more? No, I
Yeah,
don't think
hold on
it's
just a minute.
that one.
So you could, can we make,
I'm showing it on my camera.
Yes, that's him. You got it.
Yep,
Peter got it.
yep.
That's his breasts and chest hair.
Okay. I said could be a stupid question, but aren't we all now so aware of every little minute thing?
we are, and what if a woman were to do that? Might be a question.
So I was just, it wasn't like right, wrong, or anything. It was just a comment.
I would like to know how the commission feels about it.
I think it's
I
fine.
can't,
I do too. I'm gonna blow it up here for us all to look at, just so we can all be sure. Just give me a second. And Peter, you're awesome for sending those
Yes.
photos.
It's really awesome. Thank you, Peter. So I would just
Yes.
I would like to pull a note, and this is where Amy's going to go, and I will be very professional about it. But if it were a woman, would you be okay with it?
I guess I don't
It
know
looks
what's
like a
wrong with
open
the
heart
cross
surgery
to
scar.
begin with. So,
I'm totally fine with it. I just wanted to, it jumped out at me. So
Thank you for sharing. That's a really great point.
with when my kids can't find something, when my husband can never find anything, I always say, you didn't use your mommy eyes. So I was totally just using my mommy art eyes.
I'm fine with it,
I'm
but I
fine
just want to
with
make
it.
sure the entire commission is.
Can everybody see that?
Yeah, it's great. That's great.
To me, it just looks like an artifacting of the way this person does their art, and I have no problems with it.
Thanks, Noah. That's great. Great stuff.
I think there's always the way to assess. And so if the Reporter Herald came to you tomorrow, of course, the first thing you do is say, you know what, I need to speak to my administrator, and I'm happy to give you a quote. But then after that, and you have to think about what you're going to say, like as long as we all feel, cohesively that there's justification and understanding for this aesthetic and what is presented here, that it's good to go. So it sounds to me like everybody is on the same page. Does that sound right?
It's funny.
Yeah.
Sidebar is just that I would be more offended by the woman and her placement of her clothing than I would of the man, which is so sexist of me. So I appreciate you bringing that up. Very, very, very good. I would have missed that.
I'm very offended by these stickers that are obscuring the view of the map.
Yeah, mostly those.
It's
Right.
he's working on his 6-pack and he's only got 2 so far.
Susan, did you want to make an motion, or are we all okay with this?
I'm fine with it. It was just that I went and observed and looked, and it was the only thing I noted that, jumped out at me. Otherwise, and I have no problem with it. I just thought it was relevant at this time to.
That's a great point. Great point.
make
Thank
a
you
point.
so much. I think we do need to look at things like that. That makes me really happy that everybody's looking at stuff like that. Any other comments on that? Because that's a really great point. Thank you, Susan.
Okay.
I think this is Union Reservoir.
Okay, well, great then. And nobody has any comments on that. Uh-oh, I just lost my shocker email. Angela, I have to open everything up again. So what's our next topic? I'm sorry.
I have to open everything up again too.
Isn't that funny? I don't know why that happened.
Oh, I had something on my screen and then I rid of it. Okay, here we go. So from that, we are on to the direct purchase of Ursa Major, and I am so excited to let everybody know that today we poured concrete in the final
Yay!
place for Ursa Major, and a
Yay!
forklift is on its way, and we didn't have to move irrigation, which was a really big deal. I know you don't worry about those things, but pipes and electrical downtown is kind of a funny thing. So it's a little off center, but nobody will notice unless you really know, because you're looking at irrigation boxes. So speaking of, that installation is scheduled for so the forklift comes Monday. And then Tuesday morning, we're going to have the artwork arrive probably between 9 and 9:30. So if anyone is excited about not only coming to be present for that installation, but also Used Bookstore is right there. And the owner is a little concerned because on Tuesdays between 9 and 10 is when they have their compromised customer access time. And so sometimes those people want to pull into the alley, get really close to the door and things like that. And we're going to be super safe, of course, with cones and people, but the more hands on deck with that kind of thing, the better, just to make sure that someone's not walking behind a forklift, or if we have to, we're going to inevitably end up navigating through that space. So again, if you can imagine the third alleyway on the east side between 3rd and 4th, between Main and Kimbark, and then the breezeway is kind of a tight little turn. So chances are what's going to happen is the trailer will pull up, the artwork will be offloaded in the middle of the alleyway, and then the forklift will go around the block into the parking lot and come in through Los Arcos, pick the piece, set it on its side, and then move into the breezeway. And then we'll open the alley back up for normal business. So it's a little bit of a dance. The other thing is just getting images of this work, I think, is really powerful, especially on social media, and to explain, for people to see this in action, because a lot of people just say, you know, one day it wasn't there and then the next day it is. And how does that happen? So if commissioners are available to come and take photographs of that and also do a little bit of safety and
Miss Angela, will you send us the dates again? I know you've done it, but send us the dates and when you need us. That would be really great.
So this just firmed up. I'm not joking, at 4 o'clock today. The stars aligned. So it's Tuesday, the 22nd. So this upcoming Tuesday at 9 o'clock. And so I will send it to you. And if you're able to make it, fantastic. If you just want to pop by even for 5 minutes, that's fine. Or we'll share all of the details with you later.
So Angela, why don't you send an email, and then you might get a good response to see who can come. I know I teach at that time, so it's hard for a lot of us who are working.
I know.
Right.
I can definitely, I can do it. I can.
Okay.
I'll be there. I'm putting it on my calendar.
Okay, great.
Does anybody have any
Tuesday,
questions or comments
9 o'clock.
about Ursa?
No, I'm excited.
Explain again exactly where it's going. I've lost track over the time.
No, that's okay. Yeah, we've only looked for 7 different locations. This is the one. So, so if you are on Main Street on the east side at 3rd, and you are walking north, and you get to the breezeway between Used Books and Jensen Guitar.
Okay.
It's going in this little tiny flower box that used to hold a tree, and the tree died. And so there's no tree and there's no planter. So it's a really excellent location. It's highly visible, and it's on Main Street, but within the breezeway. Because
No,
now
I remember. I just couldn't remember exactly where it ended up landing. I knew it was somewhere around there, but I wasn't sure exactly. So thanks.
And we're having to load it and everything, of course, from the alley because of the barricade situation, right? So we're kind of having to take the long road, but that's okay. So it'll be good. Okay, so I will send, and Laurel, thank you. Pamela, I heard you too. I'll send you a note out, and anybody who wants to be there to help keep the place safe and also answer any questions, that would be great. So I will send you that.
Sounds great.
That way. All right.
Great. Any other questions about that, everybody?
No,
I do have a question. How long do you think the installation will take?
Offloading, barring any trouble, should take between 30 and 45 minutes. And then the installation itself, probably 2 to 3 hours. Once the piece is set, we'll look at it and we'll orient it, and then they'll have to place where the anchors go. So it's called a dry fit. So you set the sculpture, we put where the anchors are, and then they have to pick it up again, and then that's when the fun starts. So then they have to drill into the concrete, set the anchors, put the sculpture back on, and then they just wait around until glue dries. I wish I was joking, but I'm not. And then once that epoxy is set, then it's finished. But the actual setting of it, probably like an hour and a half.
So we're talking like 9 to noon.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if I'll be able to make it at 9, but I can. There's a window of opportunity there.
Yeah, we should be done by 1. We should be off site by 2. I mean, done.
I will have to leave at 11:30 because I have physical therapy.
So Pamela, why don't anybody who has conflicts or issues, go ahead and email those directly to Angela so she can do some planning around that.
Yeah, but show up if you can, and you don't have to be there perfectly on time. Just within the window is great. So I'll send an email.
Thank you, Angela.
Yep.
So from what I can see, we are on to Tony Ortega's mural project.
Yeah, so you all should have received with your packet the invitation not only to share the community mural project, but also to sign up for volunteering. And I know a number of you have, so thank you very, very much. Really what it's going to be, there's 2 shifts. There's a morning shift and an afternoon shift. And the dates are tomorrow, the 18th, Saturday, the 19th, and then next weekend, Friday, the 25th, and Saturday, the 26th. And so as a volunteer, you'll show up a little bit early. We're going to set down some drop cloths. We have sidewalk chalk that we're going to block off where each of the panels are for people to go and to paint. And we'll be filling little paint buckets, checking people in, giving them their sets of paintbrushes, because everybody's going to have their own set of paintbrushes, their own aprons and such. So we're keeping it safe by not sharing tools, etc. And they'll just take those home with them. And then in between shifts, we'll sanitize and clean it all up, and then we'll do it again in the afternoon. So we were a little slow on signups, and then we threw out an all staff, and it's just gone gangbusters. So that's really great. If you have people within your own community who are really excited about this, or particularly if they celebrate Dia de los Muertos, if they're of a certain population that really is a part of their annual celebration. The reason that Art in Public Places commissioned this piece is in celebration and commemorating the 20th anniversary of Longmont in this community. So yeah, it's been really well received. Times Call's going to come and do an article. So as commissioners, if you're available to volunteer for these shifts, that would be really, really impactful. Yeah, Noah.
Where I have the time down, I forgot where the painting's going to be happening.
It's at the museum, outside in the courtyard, and luckily we have good weather, so we're going to be outside, masked and socially distant.
As far as you know.
So 2 things just really quickly. Somebody I know did sign up, and what she said was that it didn't specifically tell her where to come to. the location, and that when she signed up, all of the information was in Spanish, and she's not a Spanish speaker. So I'm not sure if she was supposed to select English and it gave her Spanish, or I'm not sure what happened. So.
Okay, do you know when she is scheduled to paint? Is it tomorrow?
I think she's scheduled Saturday. I think that's okay. I just wanted to just give you the heads up for other people. If other people are having trouble knowing where to go, that might be.
This is my first time using this sign up. I like it a lot. And yes, you can, there's an opt-in for Spanish and English. And we really did the invitation and everything in Spanish first and then translated it into English. I am not also a Spanish speaker, so that's really difficult. But I think it was an important way to approach this project. Yeah. So it's been challenging, but needless to say, I will send, it has the option of sending mass emails out to everyone who has signed up, and I write that. So I'll send that out first thing in the morning, thanking people for signing up, and then giving specific direction on location.
Nice. How many do we have so far? Do you have any idea?
So there's only 32 maximum spots, and I think that the last time I looked when I ran the report was we were at 73%. The other option is that if there's families who want to participate, because they're on panels, we have the ability to spread the panels out and make, give lots of space. And since we can be outside, we can do that. So 73% of 32, whatever that is. So yeah, we're nearly there. We're really, really close. Plus volunteers and staff will be on site as well. So yeah. All right. Well, and Tony's really excited. He's yeah. Oh, I should show you the sketch. So initially, I've got to close my agenda, Amy. He had sent us the sketch of what he had done in pastel, but obviously because it's a community mural, it will change depending upon what the community decides to put in texture and such. So I know this is a little funny and bare, but I think you'll get the gist of it. Oops. So can you see that?
Yeah.
Isn't it great? So it has the tables and dancing with the dresses, mariachi and family, but then of course that it has the ancestors so you have an ancestor dancing, but then you have a live dancer, so everyone's at the table. And so he is bringing his sketches that are colored in and then Tony will be with all of the painters going through and showing them their inspiration, bringing the paint and the palette, and but there's a lot of room for interpretation. So it's really exciting. And then after the work is done, the museum staff will install it at 439 Main. So it's on the north facing external wall of the breezeway between 4th and 5th on the west side. And the easement agreement that the owners of the building and I came up with was that it will absolutely 100% be there for a full calendar year as of installation date. And then after that, if at any point they decide that they want to redevelop the building or any variety of sell the building or something like that, because they're on panels, then we can remove them and move them to a new location, which actually is really smart, because then instead of just a new owner coming in and not liking it and painting over it, we can retain it. So it becomes a part of the collection.
Nice.
Very good.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I need to go for a minute. There's an ice cream man outside.
Get some for me.
No, get me some. Hurry up, get me some. I think we live close. All right, great. Great. Thank you so much, Angela. So for
How
one-
big are the panels, Angela?
6 by 4. So the entire length is 20 feet. So it's 20 by 6. It's significant, quite large.
Yeah.
Okay, is it high? Are we mounting them up high?
Yes, it will be. I'm trying to remember the exact height. The bottom should be at about average eye height.
Okay.
And that building has a ledge. And so the owner was talking about lighting. It's not in our budget, but some uplighting or even to tap in and have something overhanging and looking back at it and lit from above would be nice, but that's their investment.
Great. Okay, so it looks like we can move on to our next item. Is everybody okay with that? Angela, I just want to thank you again for your hard work on this. I know you were just doing double time on that, so thank you so much.
This one really came about actually pretty organically. So yeah, the Tony Ortega has been really a great project. So that's good.
Well, we're totally grateful to you. I am. I don't know. I'm sure everybody else is too.
Thank you.
So it looks from what I can see that we are moving on to the Unity project. Angela?
Yeah, so when Noah gets back from the ice cream man, Noah actually signed up for maintenance on the Unity project and I think ran into Mario Echevarria while he was working on the remediation. And yeah, so not to put you on the spot, Noah, but do you want to talk to us a little bit about running into Mario?
Yeah, it was pretty interesting. I was just taking my dog for a walk, and you know, he had all of his stuff set out. He was doing some really good work there. Basically, replaced a lot of the broken plaster along the bottom of the piece, and a couple of little bits of mosaic and tile work that were not looking so great. And then it looks like a fresh coat of paint on the kind of the outside and especially around the bottom. But it all looks really good. I don't know if there was any work done to the green glass panels on the back and like where all the handprints are. But for the most part, it looks, it's definitely much improved than it was, you know, a couple weeks back.
Cool.
Isn't one of those green panels on the back broken or missing part of it?
Yeah, some of them are chipped, I would say. They have like bits, you know, about that big missing from them. But I don't know what it would take to recreate whatever those are even made of, to make new ones and put them into place.
No, you can't just put in a portion because it's the whole thing is a text.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, I noticed that. I was by there just the other day and noticed that. So, but
Yeah.
other than that, it really looks good now.
Yeah, I agree. I think it looks great.
So Mario is going to come to us with the second portion of the, so if you'll recall, the funding for that really was for stabilization. So he went in and used epoxy on the inside, stabilized the structure itself, and then eventually we need to get the city to put a curb, a lawnmower curb around it so the lawnmowers don't continue to bash into the bottom of it. But then some sort of sealant. Mario has played with a number of different materials. It's the mosaic piece that Susan Daly will come back and she will do. The back side, it really is a trick. They're bilingual panels that are say what the project was and who was working on it in 1998. And the relief portion of it in some places is just gone. So when Mario told me he was going over there, I asked him to put together a second portion of the bid to work on that backside and then to do the sealant to keep the mosaic tiles in place. So we'll see what that looks like. Mario has older family in Longmont and he's a Longmont resident and native. So I don't think that we'll see that this fiscal year, but certainly to consider for maintenance in 2021 for sure. So yeah, but that's great. Thank you, Noah.
No problem.
Okay, sorry. I was trying to
It's
look
fine.
and mute myself. It looks like we're going to talk about the little Alpine project that has been our topic of discussion for 2 years.
So I spoke to Pat Milbury and his partner in Sonar, and they said that they were going to send a sketch, but in fact brought up something that was even bigger, which is that the person who did quite a bit of graffiti has been bothering them on social media and via email. And so at the request of both Patrick and working with my division managers, we're going to go through the city mediation process to see if we can open some lines of communication and understanding. So stay tuned, but Patrick is still agreeable to finishing the project this fiscal year because he needs to, because his contract says he needs to. But yeah, that's it's really unfortunate, and it's disturbing, and it's disappointing. So Patrick just wants to feel safe and wants to have our community really understand what 9th and Alpine is all about.
Is
so
that
yeah, that's
the
that.
same person who whitewashed Ginger? Is that the same person who whitewashed a lot of the inside of the wall, or was it different stuff?
No, it's that person who coincidentally participated in its original painting in 2018.
I thought the whitewash was from where the graffiti was removed.
No.
No, that was some weird vandalism.
So it's really disappointing. My conversation with Patrick, it was pretty heated, and he's pretty disturbed, and he and I spoke about the necessity for the Longmont community to fix this and make it right, because that is a conduit for the kids that are going to school. And that's the reason that that project was done in the first place. So we need to get it painted. We need to get it finished. And whatever we have to do to get moving is what we need to do to get moving. So Mural Committee, which I know you've been waiting for a sketch for some time, but if this is what it takes to get going, is that's what's going to happen. So
Miss Angela, may I ask you a question?
yeah.
So, well, you don't want me to ask you anything, ma'am, but I would say that would this fellow be willing to come? I know, and this is something that back in the old days, I think Randy might remember this. Would he be willing to come to talk to us in a public, invited to be heard?
Patrick, the artist, or the
Both.
or the person?
Both. Or is that something that we don't even want to go?
Can I say something, guys?
Please.
Sure, Laurel.
Okay, because I can't see you. I can only see Amy. Actually, I pushed something and I don't know what I did.
Well, it's your lucky day, Laurel.
Okay, so I just completed the minorities training program through the Friends of the Longmont Museum. And so I just did the diversity training. And I haven't gone over it here to tell you, but it would be great to meet, possibly, coming right up here and see, because inviting a minority person, there's a lot involved, a lot of understanding on our part of where they're coming from and stuff that we went over in this training, and it was really great. I'd love to share it with you, and I can do it tomorrow or whenever you can do it.
I think you bring a valid point up, Laurel, and this is something you all know, and I got in trouble, but this is like something that has been near and dear to my heart for probably 40 years out of my 49. Now it's really important to me.
Sure.
And that's why I joined AIPP. So I won't go into that, but I would like to see if there's anybody who would value that. I know this is a dangerous call, so I don't want to bring it up or bring it up to a vote, but I would like you to circulate it in your brain a little bit and say, hey, should we listen to this dude? Should we like talk about it? And if that's not the case, then that's cool. But I do think it's valuable to like, this is why we started this whole mural campaign, because we wanted people to have a voice that didn't have a voice. And I live in that area. It's probably 2 blocks from my house, and I watched it get done. I participated, and then I watched it get vandalized.
So I should just back up just a little bit and make sure to state very clearly that this person is not of a minority.
No, he's not. He's not at all.
No. So that conversation I think is.
But I would like to say, are we sure he's not of a minority? Is he just because his skin is not brown? Are we sure?
Considering the person has caused thousands of dollars in damage and then threatened the person who made the art in the first place, I'm not really interested in hearing what they have to say.
Okay.
And so
thanks, Noah. That's great.
I have a question.
Yes.
My question is, does this person, Vandal, does he think that it's Patrick, the artist, who accused him and took him to court? Or does he realize it's the city? It's not the artist at all.
So I need to be really clear here in that what I know as fact is the artist has told me, and the artist has not presented me, nor given me, nor the city of Longmont Police Department any of the information other than exactly what I said, which is that the artist and the vandal, have had conversations outside of the city, and that the artist would really like to have assistance in communication. That being said, it's really very important here to say that the city is not able to offer restorative justice through its systems at this point in time, because it is exactly to your point, Cindy, the city who was the victim of the crime, and this person was tried in county court. So,
Well, I just wonder if he's threatening the artist because he is just completely doesn't understand who accused him.
And so that's why the city opportunity of a mediation and communication is real. It will be very, very helpful, and that's what the city can bring to the table to make sure that everyone is of that understanding.
Okay.
I have a quick
Aaron,
question. Is there anywhere I can kind of get up to speed on what you guys are talking about? I'm kind of getting the gist that this person was sued, or where I could find where all of that happened.
We'll have a conversation offline. How about?
Okay.
Hey, Aaron, you can call us. How's that?
Okay. Sounds good.
No, it's very complicated, and I always want to have everybody's voice be heard, but I totally with Noah on this. I'm sorry. And I'm the diversity person, but yeah. Okay, so let's move on. How's that
So
sound?
can I just add one thing?
Sure, my friend.
Can I just add that if there's any opportunity for us to understand why it happened, it might help us to prevent it from happening to future murals.
And that's why I brought it up in the first place. That's why I said, should we hear this guy out? Because I've seen his pictures. I've watched the video. I know who he is. I don't know, but I don't know if he'd be even willing to do it. Maybe that's something Angela and a few of us need to talk about offline. Maybe he would hear a voice and he would be like, feel more accepted, because he has probably got followers.
I think the mediation is a great idea, and I'm glad the city's willing to step up and help us out in that.
Yeah, great.
And I think that also recognizing the number of different factors here, again, that going through the channels is really important. Laurel, just to mention, I think one of the things that the Friends of the Museum has done, and this is off subject of Ninth and Alpine, but still within, going to the strategic plan process, and the Friends made a commitment to diversity, equity, inclusion.
Right.
And they actually made a pledge as a board. So maybe we can look to, and Laurel, maybe you might be agreeable to ask the Friends and Jennifer exactly what their pledge is and what they said. And as a board, making a commitment might be something that can solidify what Amy is saying and has been saying for some time about our voice within the community. I think the strategic plan is a really good place for that to be.
Well, I'd love to talk with you about it. We can do that offline so that I understand what it is, what your expectation is, so I can translate that. Good.
This is something that I've thought about, and I won't take much of your time, but maybe we should form a subcommittee on this.
The guy's not worth it.
What?
The guy's not worth your time. I just don't think he'll do it. I know. It's the mean me.
I just hope that we don't say that people aren't worth it. We don't know that
No,
yet.
I'm saying it's not worth your time.
Well,
I don't think you'll get anything
I
out of it.
appreciate your point, Pamela. Thank you.
And
I know.
the city has a established conduit for this process, and that we don't have to create it. We're really very blessed that way, that we have somewhere to go that can be a neutral party. So that's great. Yeah.
Alex, Peter has a question.
I have a question about this, which is if this guy is threatening the artist and making the artist feel unsafe, is there a risk that if we get involved, that then we become targets for him as well?
It's a great question.
So luckily, the mediation process is independent of art in public places. It will really be the city. So Patrick, as a contractor with the city, has this as an option to solve the issue. So it's independent of me. And so then whatever decisions that they come up with on how to move forward is up to them. So
that's the place.
I think that it actually ends up being a very safe and good solution because it takes care of the root of the problem, not anything beyond that.
Well, it seems to me the prudent thing is to just leave it like that and not get involved. Let it.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
One way or the other, we got to get that that underpass painted, and so that is my job, and I'm gonna get it done. So, meantime, there will likely be at some point, shifts where in the middle of the painting, when it's happening, that we'll have commissioners who feel comfortable to come and be there and answer questions to the community as it's being repainted. So I expect that this work will happen at the end of October, beginning of November at the latest. The weather has to be good for the paint to adhere to the primer. So there's weather factors as well.
Thanks, Angela. Any other questions or comments? I know your heads are spinning, as is mine. So, yeah, it's a struggle. This is a difficult conversation. So I want to thank you all for being so engaged in talking about this. This is something that is near and dear to me, and I know most of you as well. So thank you so much.
And if we want to end on a positive note, the work that the Mural Committee has done in looking into sealants, working with the graffiti specialist with the city, and feeling confident in the way that we are going to move forward when we commission murals is really very positive. It's just that it's taken so long to get this one done. And I think that Noah can agree with me on this, and I don't want to speak on your behalf, but that we aren't going to move forward with any mural sealants until we see how the product that we are committing to works on this one.
Great.
And if the product that we're committing to works on this one, then any mural that we do going forward is going to be protected, and we're not going to have this problem anymore.
Yeah,
If graffiti or anyone decides to go in, then we just wash it off and put it's really going to save us a lot of headache and heartache. So this is
money.
Yeah, and money. So it's not
Miss
all
Laurel,
from,
look, Miss Laurel, I think you had a question or comment.
No, I'm agreeing.
Are we
Very
going
good.
to use the sealant on the Tony Ortega panels?
It's a little bit different because that's on wood, but yes, we will never commission a mural again that isn't sealed because we've learned
Yeah.
our lesson, right?
Yes.
Okay, once again, I'm going to give her praises, but Angela, thank you. We need that.
Thank you, Angela.
We were like, this was like, we wanted to do this so bad and we couldn't because we were like afraid. And what you just said was, anybody else want to give her a high five?
Well, it's expensive to do. It's expensive to do, but this commission committed at the end of last year to the dollar figure to seal it up, and it's not cheap, but those dollars are for this sealing, so you're in good shape. But if you want to talk about maintenance, don't get ready.
We'll get there. So we were on the New Moon 5, Raven Swanson.
All right, here you go. So thanks to everyone who has signed up for maintenance, sent in pictures to address things. I'm going to share it. Ready?
Ready.
Ready. Here it comes. So this, is the state
For dinner.
of New Moon 5, which is outside of the museum. So as you can see, the surface itself is starting to delaminate. I'm not exactly sure the media. I think it's some powder coating. But what will likely need to happen is the artist, I'll contact the artist to see about coming in, bringing in a grinder, a sander, getting rid of some of these excess flakes where moisture's getting in. And
Angela, I don't think we're seeing the same screen.
Are you not seeing it?
Can you go back in? Mm-mm.
Uh-oh.
I can see.
Can you see it?
I can see.
Boop. Boop.
I don't see anything, so.
There we go. That's it.
Yes, that's it.
Oh, that. You see that?
Yes.
Yes.
How's it?
Perfect.
Okay. And Eileen is a master of registration and condition. So correct me if any of my assessments are wrong, but I think that
Definitely not supposed to look that way.
yeah, that's not supposed to look that way. And frankly, the piece is attached to this footer or a plinth that's welded, and then this whole thing is attached to rock. I don't think it's unstable. I think that its adhesion, its connection points are fine, but certainly the surface treatment needs addressed. So luckily, Revan Swanson, as you know, is local. She's from Denver. We have worked with her before in Art on the Move. So I'm just going to give her a phone call and see if she could bid this one out, because as of all the maintenance reports that are starting to come back, this one is I would say, aside from Unity, which we've kind of got that taken care of, this one needs addressed. So I'd like to ask the commission maybe to consider some dollar figure that you might consider approving if it comes back at that or less, that I can move forward before next month, or I can just get the bid and come back to you in October. Either way, but I do think that addressing that this year would be appropriate, and we do have funds in maintenance.
I think we need to wait for an estimate because it kind of looks like a welding issue, like the welding wasn't properly treated after it was welded on. I know nothing about this topic, okay? I'm just making this up out of whole cloth. But it looks to me, since it's all around the welds, that's, and I don't know whether you're gonna have to de-weld this and redo it or what, but I think we need to wait for a bid, or we need to at least wait for the artist to say, we're gonna have to take this all apart, or I think I can fix it where it stands.
Okay.
Because the difference in cost will be phenomenal.
Astronomical. I have a feeling that it's going to be, I think this is powder coating. And again, I walked around it after I read Andrea's maintenance report, because of course it's outside the museum. I think the welds are okay. I think this is a powder coat, which and the face, so up above, looks in pretty good shape. It's the base,
but it's all around the welds that are
where water's been pooling.
Yeah, and if she tried to weld onto the powder coat, maybe that would make a difference. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
No, looking at this, it all seems like surface rust. I don't believe that it's going to change the structural integrity of the piece. I think you just sandblast it or scrub it and then repaint it should be fine.
Yeah.
All right, so
I don't know if you can powder coat the bottom without powder coating the top, which would get rid of all the white chalk lines.
To
or whatever
powder
they
coat
are.
it, you would have to take it from where it is and like put it in a powder coating booth.
Yeah.
It would be better to just paint it or find another way to finish it.
and there's all sorts of marine paints and automotive paints that are, at least in Colorado, are replacing powder coat because the sheen and shine or the matte is available. So a lot of artists are moving from powder coating for exactly that reason, Noah, that you have to dismantle something, take it, put it in the booth, powder coat it, and then redo.
Oh.
Yeah. So, okay, I'll get a bid on this one as soon as possible. And luckily, again, Revan's local. So I think we likely won't have to outsource it at all. We'll just be able to do it locally. Sweet. Thank you. And thank you again for those maintenance reports, which I should also say, I did inquire with the IT department. We're working on a solution, Peter, from last month of being able to select something and then it either disappear or gray out so everyone's not signed up for the same thing. It very well may be just kind of a manual list that you look at and say, I want to sign up for these things. These people have already signed up for these works. These are what's left, and then go in and sign up. But I'm working on a solution, so more on that.
Did you get all the pictures I sent you?
I did. It's excellent, and yeah, it's working really well on this side of things because I'm able to open up. I'm able to export the reports. I'm able to filter them by their. So that's how I figured out this one to go look at, because I filtered it by condition and who put that something was in fair or poor condition, to look at those ones first and then start looking through the photos to assess. So yeah, it's working really well.
Just out of curiosity, may I ask, has anybody found anything that's really bad?
This has been the worst one I've seen.
Yeah, that was me too. Mine are all been good, and I haven't. Never mind. I'm not going to say what I haven't done because Angela will smack my hand. All right, so I think we can move on. Is that okay, everybody?
Yep.
Right. So it looks like we are now on to the administrator's report. Miss Angela, what do you have left?
So executive committee is going to be meeting October 8th, and what we will do at that time is go through the budget for 2021. We stayed flat, so that's nice. And of course, because of the COVID magic, we didn't spend all the funds in certain line items this year, and that's not surprising. But our main programs, we are on budget, and that's great. Not over budget on any line item. So executive committee and I'll go through that. if there is any project that is near and dear to your heart that you would like to continue to see move forward, the Boston Bridge project will be one of those. We still had the drain project kind of in the wings that didn't move forward so much this year, but we knocked a lot off the list for 2019 and 2020. The other thing that I will be sending to you after this meeting is the annual report from 2019 that was submitted to City Council. And so you can go through that and look at our accomplishments. That's actually quite impressive. So that is pretty much everything that I've got.
Okay, Angela, thanks for doing that. I'm very happy because we used to have to do that ourselves. Okay. All right, so we are now on to new business, social justice project, which is Angela.
Shoot, that shouldn't have been on there, but I think we're tabled that for now. Noah, is that right?
I think we're all working on that, right, Noah?
Yeah, I was hoping to connect with you after the meeting if we can, Amy.
Yeah, let's do it. Okay, so great.
I don't have any new business.
I have business. There's a cute dog right there. Yeah.
You can't see it.
My dog's hiding.
If we don't see it, we don't believe it, Noah.
Well, yeah. Okay. So how about commissioners' comments?
Hey, I have a quick question. So I saw that they actually started breaking ground on the multi-use building. And I just didn't know if we had heard anything about whether they were going to ask us to assist them with their parking garage structure. Remember that whole
whole
thing?
Yeah.
They haven't reached back out to us, but I would very much anticipate them asking for us for a match or a third. Because if you'll recall, I think that they had estimated that project in the realm of what, 90,000, 100,000. And so we, you know, it's very exciting. They have till 2022 is when they anticipate finishing that, which is great because that means that whatever kind of project that we could potentially look at could be integrated with the construction, which will save on costs for mounting, etc. I can reach out to Kimberly and see if, or Boulder Housing Authority to see if they have an update. But yeah, the fact that they're breaking ground is big.
Huge.
Yeah.
Huge. Okay, great. Well, I want to say one thing. I am very impressed how engaged everybody has been. Right? I mean, this is hard times and everybody's like staying engaged. So thank you. All right, let's go. Any other comments?
I'm just really glad we're meeting again. I know that we had so much momentum coming into this year, and it just felt like we were really scooting and moving, and now it feels like we almost came to a complete halt, but we're moving again. So we're gonna get there. Yeah,
you kept it moving.
We're moving.
You kept it moving.
If you have time to come for the Tony Ortega mural, really, even if you just want to sit back and see it happen, or we are also doing time-lapse video. But really, I think this is going to be super for our community, and people are really excited. So for them to thank you in person, yeah, you made this happen. You really did. So it's a big deal.
Angela, you made this happen.
Angela, I have a question. Why am
I staring at Peter right now?
I don't know. Angela, is there a way, can our little subcommittee for the gather the people actually meet in person and go and look at the site? and see what's involved with that sculpture?
Yeah, I mean,
I'm supposed to be on that committee as well.
Yeah.
With you,
the
yes.
bummer about that site is, of course, COVID put the brakes on their momentum too.
Right.
Mhm.
So
But I'd like to at least go with the whole group, with all three of us, and examine that sculpture and see what's involved.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, it's a field, right? There's nothing there yet, but we can get a drawing and go stand out there and look at the where we're talking about.
Well, this is something maybe we need to do separately from the regular meeting, but I just feel like we're not moving ahead on that, and I want to.
Yeah, and maybe we need to get a Steve Ransweiler update, because he's still in the bidding process, and he's been in the bidding process for.
Are we talking about the Gather the People, the mobile?
Oh, no. I'm sorry. I'm thinking about
the Sister Cities. Yeah.
The gathering spot. No. Yes. Gathering the people at Isaac Walton.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
So,
maybe we can have
Cindy,
a group email about that, you, me, and Laurel, about getting together for that.
And Andrea.
Okay.
And so, were you saying that we should go over to Isaac Walton and look at this sculpture as it exists right now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think that it's important.
Yes, that would be
for
great.
all of us to go there so that we can ask each other questions about what needs to be
Yes.
done.
And then after that, we go to Lucille's.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
Yes, and even if I'm not able to join you, or I can bring my two little minions with me. But yeah.
Please.
Oh,
Yay!
absolutely. I have no problem with that.
Okay.
I love minions. So I just posted something just for fun. Art in public places all over the country is doing some weird stuff right now. So I thought you would appreciate this. This is a mural.
I love it.
That's great.
And, I was joking about, even if I won't get into politics at all, but political masks, what a collector's item, because it's not going to be that long, but I love this one. So thank you all for staying dedicated.
Awesome. Oh, and Crush Walls is happening if you're in Denver this weekend and you want to see a bunch of mural artwork. That's where you go.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. Okay. Gather enough people. I will send
Shall we
you.
move to adjourn yet? I think Angela and Noah and I will probably keep talking for a couple minutes.
Mhm.
Move adjournment.
So
Okay.
I need a motion.
Okay, I
Move
move that we
adjournment.
adjourn.
I need a
I
second.
second.
Okay. It is so great to see all of you. I love you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you all.
Okay. Talk to you soon.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Aaron, thanks.
Thank you.
Hey, Erica, can I talk to you for a second before we leave?
I'm still here. I don't know how to get off.
Do we need to boot you out?
Boot me. Give me the boot. Okay.
Okay, hold on. Is that Laurel talking, by the way?
Boom, I got her.
Oh, okay. I was just about to boot her.
You're so powerful.
Rah, you are removed from the meeting.
Oh, but I only can remove some people, not all people.
Not.
That's okay.
You can remove me if you want. I'll come
No,
back.
no. So, Erica, are we good to stop recording so we can still chat?
I think so.
Is that all right? I mean, I guess if it's just Amy and Noah and us, then technically it's not an open meeting.
Okay.
Or I can go and make a different Zoom.
No.
Yeah, that's
I
my
think
only
we
question.
just need
if we kick Pamela out, then you don't have enough people for an open meeting. And then, all right, so I'm going to withdraw her co-host and I'm going to remove.
I can make a Zoom meeting right now if it would be easier and more.
Nope.